President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received Thursday a phone call from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The two leaders discussed the latest updates in Ukraine and the latest developments in the current crisis. President Zelensky briefed President el-Sisi on the latest developments at the field and humanitarian levels in Ukraine. On his part, President el-Sisi affirmed Egypt's support for all efforts aimed at calming the situation and advancing efforts to reach a peaceful solution to the conflict, in order to stop the bloodshed and help pave the way towards peace. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli held a meeting on Thursday to review Norwegian Scatec company's energy projects to be implemented in Egypt over the upcoming period. The Prime Minister noted that there is a large cooperation between the government and the leading renewable energy producer, and he is looking forward to increase the volume of cooperation serving the two parties' common interests. Scatec Chief Executive Officer, meanwhile, expressed his happiness over the company's increased engagement in development projects in Egypt, particularly in the green hydrogen production project, and hinted at the implementation of an electric linkage project with Europe. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli chaired a meeting on Thursday on the objectives of the electronic platform for the students' professional guidance. Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Ayman Ashur, said that the platform's launch comes in the framework of the ministry's program for offering professional guidance with the aim of creating cohesion and enhancing cooperation among universities and the job markets through supporting innovation and entrepreneurship. The meeting also touched on the axis of the national strategy for higher education and scientific research and the higher education's program, which aims at qualifying students for occupying future jobs and preparing the top achievers to join the university educating staff. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry received today a phone call from Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, James Cleverly. The phone conversation focused on the serious developments in the occupied Palestinian territories and means of enhancing regional and international efforts to contain rising tensions between both sides. Shoukry briefed his British counterpart on Egypt's efforts for supporting a truce in the occupied territories and encouraging the two parties to resume negotiations and break the current stalemate of the Middle East peace process. The British Secretary of State expressed his country's concern over the deteriorating humanitarian and security conditions in the occupied territories, calling on international and regional partners, the forefront of which is Egypt, to urge the Palestinians and Israelis to resume peace talks. Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Osama Askar, and his accompanying delegation returned home, wrapping up an official visit to the United Arab Emirates. During the visit, Lieutenant General Askar participated in the inauguration of Abu Dhabi's International Defense Exhibition and Conference EDEX 2023. Egypt took part in the 2023 EDEX alongside with more than 65 countries, where the most advanced smart defensive systems were displayed. Egypt condemned Israeli occupation army raid that killed 11 Palestinians, including a teenager in Nablus. In a statement, the Foreign Ministry expressed extreme concern over the escalation and its potential to undermine the efforts to achieve calm between the Palestinian and Israeli sides. Meanwhile, the United States said it is extremely concerned by the levels of violence in Israel and the West Bank and fears that a raid by Israeli forces there could set back efforts at restoring calm. The Palestinian Health Ministry said more than 80 Palestinians suffered gunshot wounds. And to details, Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat witnessed on Thursday the launch of the second phase of the digital transformation program for the Suez Canal Economic Zone, which is being implemented with the participation of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Al-Mashat reiterated that the first phase of the program had achieved great progress in accelerating measures needed for investors' projects in the economic zone. The minister also stressed the significance of strategic partnership with the EU Bank, pointing out that 70% of its investments during the past 10 years in Egypt were allocated to the private sector. Egypt's stock market indices collectively soared on Thursday, being bolstered by purchasing operations by Arab and foreign investors. The main EGX 30 index soared 1.35%. The small and medium EGX 70 added 1.2%. The more expanded EGX 100 soared 1.13%. The overall transactions and dealings within the session reached £2 billion.